Hey everybody, I'm Lorenzo Clark here with Vegas Nonstop starring Jonathan Scott. And here he is, it's Jonathan Scott. Hey everybody, woo!
Vegas Nonstop.
Vegas Nonstop with Jonathan Scott, me, Lorenzo Clark, and our guest tonight, Mark Riccadonna.
Mark Riccadonna is here with us in, we're not in the usual, we're not in the showroom today. We're in the wine room.
The Vita Bella wine bar.
I was going to call it the Bella Vita, Vita Bella.
Yeah, Bella Vita, Vita Bella. It means the good life. It means the good life anyway.
Good life.
La Dolce Vita means the dessert life, which is translated as the good life.
The sweet life.
The sweet life. That's it. Yeah. Dolce is dessert. So
we are sponsored by our friend George Harris and Alien Tequila.
Alien Tequila.
Abduction in every bottle.
Yeah, they say there's an abduction in every bottle. I say it's out of this world. That's what I say. And today you're drinking the Añejo, which is perfectly done in a snifter. You can actually get the aroma of the Añejo. That's the most aged tequila, the Añejo, golden, like the color of the tequila and my hair. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's me.
And I'd like to start the show with a toast and see if our guest Mark has a toast for us.
To honor. If you can't come in her, come on her.
Wait a minute.
And Lorenzo has one similar.
I offered her my honor. She honored my offer. All night long, it was honor and offer.
And my father had one. Said honor is fine, but inner is better.
There you go. All right.
And here's to you and here's to me. And if by chance we disagree, then F you, here's to me.
There you go. That works too. Cheers, everybody.
So honor is.
I'm still working. They're on happy hour.
We're working on
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. So we hope you're having a great time and having a great week. It's been kind of an odd week because Tuesday seemed like Monday.
Yeah.
Whenever we have one of those long weekend kind of things. But I was here on Sunday for Ryan Ahern's concert.
Wasn't that an amazing show?
For the first time in the center stage show.
Right.
What do you call it?
So it's our center stage venue. It's on the first level of the Ahern Hotel. Those of you who remember, we used to have an octagon style bar, okay, with a big centerpiece in the center of it. So we took all that out, planked over the top, and created a stage. It's an amazing stage, an octagon, 27 feet across, amazing stage. And not last night, but Sunday night we had our Ryan Ahern show with the full PBS orchestra. So we had the 9-foot grand piano. It was a Baldwin piano. That's how good looking it was. And hey now, and then 9 pieces orchestra under the direction of Doug Tan, who's our old friend who still plays today with the Shintas, or with Frankie Shinta, and with Charo, and a lot of the great acts around town.
Frankie Shinta.
Yes.
Those of you that know him, his nickname is Balls.
Balls, everybody. Balls.
Because he's Sicilian, and
Yeah.
he'll never let you forget that he's Sicilian.
That's right.
I know you got these flowers here. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah. This was a gift from the English garden florist. And we thought we'd just say thank you to them. They're great florists.
Where are they?
And they're right here in town.
4171 Maryland Parkway.
Well,
here in Las Vegas, and you can go online at EnglishGardenFlorist.com.
How about them apples?
That's nice.
Smells delicious. I mean, it smells divine.
And delicious.
And delicious, yeah.
Last time you ate flowers.
Yes, exactly. We'll put that right like
Well,
that.
let's talk about, I know there's some big shows coming on here at Ahern. September 16th, Monday, is Mexican Independence Day. I know tickets are on sale for a world-renowned comedian named Paul Rodriguez.
Yes, so you go to Eventbrite. Eventbrite is where we're doing our Mexican Independence Day fiesta. Starring Paul Rodriguez, a.k.a. Pablo.
And you've got a band also.
Yes, Pura de Sinaloa. That's right, Banda Pura de Sinaloa, which is a 12-piece mariachi-style band. They play a lot of other stuff, too.
Instead of translating.
Well, they play in the mariachi style, but they play popular music as well as traditional Tejani or mariachi music.
They play Led Zeppelin?
They might even play a little Led Zeppelin. 'Cause she's buying a stairway to heaven. Maybe, I don't know.
If you're in a Mexican restaurant, don't you pay the mariachis to go away?
I love being. I remember I was in Cabo at one of my favorite places.
Minding your own business?
Yeah, no, I used to do a lot of cruises down to Mexico, which is a great way to see Mexico is on a cruise ship. And it is. It's
from afar.
Yeah, no. You get off in port. That's what I love about cruising is that, and then the hotel moves. So you get up in port. You do your tequila. You do your cerveza. You stagger back to the ship, and then boom, wake up in the next day. you're in a Newport. It's a fantastic
You
thing.
drink enough tequila on land, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, I'm somewhere different.
Well, that's what I used to say on the cruise ship when the ship was moving and the people were drinking tequila, straight as an arrow. They're walking straight as an arrow. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is there a point to the story?
Yes, the point of the story. So I was at Gilligan's, Billigan's Island.
Cabo.
Billigan's Island, and next door to that is The Office, which is a famous restaurant on the beach there.
There's another
And-
famous one in Cabo, not the Shark Club or...
Well, there's certainly
There's a bunch of famous ones.
there's Squid Row. Squid Row, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a seafood place. It's
Been there a long
fantastic.
time.
Anyway, so there's this place called The Office, and there was a strolling mariachi band going around, and I said, I'm gonna play some music. I called the guys over, and I said, what's the song that goes like La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha,
maybe La
and they go like this. They go, ay ay ay. Yeah,
the Frito Bandito.
That's right.
September 16th, Paul Rodriguez is going to be here at Ahern. Eventbrite tickets are on sale
Yes,
now.
and it is the real Mexican Independence Day. I know a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day, and it's not.
No,
So
that's a drinking holiday.
that's a drinking holiday or a gringo holiday. This is the actual Mexican Independence Day, and it is September 16th, a Monday night. So we're going to start with happy hour and have a full fiesta downstairs, and then followed by Banda de Pura Sinaloa, where they're going to play great music for about an hour, and then Paul Rodriguez with a great comedy show. So it's a great way to spend Mexican Independence Day, and it's right here at the Ahern Hotel on Sahara, across from the Sahara
What
Hotel.
was Paul's sitcom? Was it Me, Pablo?
It was called AKA Pablo.
AKA Pablo.
AKA Pablo, and it was a Norman Lear produced sitcom. I mean, it was
it's a real deal.
major deal. And then of course a lot of film. Yeah, well, he was one of the
Hopefully
original.
we'll have some time with Paul to do a little interview with him.
Yeah.
Because I think it was about the same time as Freddie Prinze, like right
Yes,
about that same
sure.
time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Chico and the Man.
Yeah, and talk about
Sanford.
talking about Freddie Prinze Sr., because there is a Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Who's very well known. Freddie Prinze Sr., who had the sitcom Chico and the Man with Jack Albertson, he was best friends with a guy called Alan Bursky, who was the youngest comedian ever to do The Tonight Show, and Alan Bursky will be here next week, so tune in.
Yeah.
But this week,
Mark Riccadonna!
We have this guy who's young who actually looks old.
starting tonight. How old are you, Mark?
40.
Wow!
I've
Isn't
got
that
pants
amazing?
older than you.
Yeah, right. That's when I met Milton Berle at the Friars Club back in the 80s. He goes, I got socks older than you, kid. So,
For you kids at home, Milton Berle was Uncle Milty. He owned NBC.
he wore a dress on TV before any other guy.
Before it was cool. I met him once, yeah. I actually met him a couple of times. I think I've mentioned that I worked at a place called the Mill Run Theater in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And Sammy Davis Jr. owned it.
Wow.
Who
When I
can
was
sing
15,
tomorrow?
I got to run around with Sammy when I was 15
Oh,
years
that's so
old.
cool.
That's
And, kind of
And I
full
mean
circle.
that, Beck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could make it groovy?
The Sammy Man can.
Yeah. So I got Sammy more than anybody, and to this day, I've never seen a more well-rounded entertainer
Yeah.
that did
Yeah.
gun tricks and impersonations
Yeah.
and sang and danced. And
Yeah, I think Alan Bursky used to do a joke in his show where he would say that when he was a kid, his parents' generation, the greatest entertainer in the world was Al Jolson. And that was a Jewish guy who wanted to be black. He goes, then in his generation, Sammy Davis Jr., the greatest entertainer,
The black guy wanted
that
to
was
be
a black guy who wanted to be Jewish. He goes, our generation, the greatest entertainer, God rest his soul, Michael Jackson. A poor black child who grew up to be a rich white woman. So only in America.
You know, this is the second week in a row that we've mentioned Al Jolson. Last week,
That's good. The hip references that get all the followers.
for you kids at home, Al Jolson at one time was the biggest star in the world. Was
That's
Al
right.
Jolson?
That's right.
And then we started talking about Cantor's Deli because we some of our Eddie Cantor.
Talking about Eddie Cantor,
And we got
yeah.
Cantor's Deli on Fairfax.
Yes.
And so it was a Cantor's family. But my friend Michael Politz, who publishes the Bar and Restaurant Food and Beverage magazine, is a distant relative of Al Jolson.
Wow.
So we talk about how and doing an Al Jolson show would do now in blackface and singing Mammy. I don't think that would go over really well.
Starring Justin Trudeau.
Mammy, how I love you, my dear old Mammy. Yeah, I'd want, yeah.
I walk a million miles for one of your smiles.
Yeah. Man. Anyway, let's talk about. Oh, I do want to start.
That was before they had
I wanna start a
amplification
book
in
club.
the theaters. Yeah.
Lorenzo and I are developing another television show for late night called.
We're always in development, man.
It's in development, man. But I want to start the first book club for guys, and I want to say, and Mark already read this book. It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
All right.
Mark already read it.
Not giving a flower.
Not yet. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Flower. And I'm about a third through it right now, and I love it.
There's a lot of stuff in there I feel like I've heard over the years, but they gave it a modern twist to it and made it a little more accessible to people who probably should read it.
Kind of like accept where you are.
Yeah.
You know, like stay in the present kind of a thing. Anyway, I like it, so I do want to make that part of our little pajama party.
I like it. It's fun stuff going on. Yeah.
So Mark is here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Paul Rodriguez is coming. But let's talk about a little bit about our guests. Mark moved to New York City to find himself, and you can correct me and stop me at any point here. Moved to New York City to find himself and pursue happiness. True?
Yes.
You in New York City? And originally from where?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh, Youngstown, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
That's right.
And we're another guy that started American Ninja. I think it was Ninja, and he was from Youngstown, Ohio.
Really?
You know what else they have in Youngstown, Ohio?
Dean
They have a lot of alien sightings because alien tequila.
Oh, they do?
Yes, alien tequila.
An abduction in every bottle.
Yes, it's out of this world. All right, go ahead.
What's your podcast?
Oh, we do a podcast called Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling with me and my buddy Richie Byrne. And we have comedians come on and then musicians and writers, different people, and we tend to have a few and
kibitz.
Tell our favorite street jokes.
And you started telling a joke before we started doing this. It's one of my favorite jokes. But I tell it a little bit different. I tell the joke about a guy that goes for a job interview.
Oh, yeah.
And the interviewer says, sit down. You mind if I ask you a couple of quick questions? He says, sure, go ahead. He says, what do you think is your biggest weakness? This is my biggest weakness. And he stammers a little bit. I think my biggest weakness is I'm too honest. He goes, you're too honest? I don't think that's a weakness. He says, honestly, I don't give a F what you think.
But that's why the podcast is important, is because we had the same joke, but your style and my style completely different. So it's like hearing.
You said fuck, probably.
Well, and I do it as an Italian guy who.
Oh shit! I said fuck. Oh fuck! I said shit.
Okay. Yeah. But the thing is,
so how do you tell? How do you tell
my
that?
version of it is an Italian guy goes in for a job interview. It's going pretty good. The guy goes, "Hey, what would you say your biggest weakness is?" And he goes, I'm very honest. The guy goes, honesty? Well, I don't see a problem with that. He goes, yeah, I don't give a what you think. So it's the same joke, but it's told two different ways. Yeah. It's like hearing a standard music.
It's like the Aristocrats.
I was going to say, hence the movie The Aristocrats. Shout out to Penn and Teller.
And Gilbert.
And the late Gilbert Godfrey.
Don't forget the great.
We talk about Gil a little bit, you know, and I had him at the Hilton for about 12 weeks. I spent every day with Gilbert, and every day he wanted me to go to the 99-cent store with him. And he would buy dental floss every day.
Wow.
And if you watch the documentary on Gilbert, it's called Gilbert.
And great.
Dara, his beautiful wife, a widow, says to the cameraman, look under the bed, and pulls out a drawer. Says, if you see any of the shampoo or soap that you want, help yourself. Because Gilbert would take the soap or shampoo for every night he was in the hotel. He used to say his impression, you know, I bet you don't know I do impressions. He said, what's my impression of Bogart? Humphrey Bogart. He was a small man with a big personality. That was my impression. It was a lot of fun.
I got to work with Gilbert, and I was so excited to work with him. I called my friend Paul Provenza, who was really good friends with Gilbert.
And I love Paul did that show behind in the green room.
Comics only, or
it was called In the Green Room.
Green Room, and he did comics only on Comedy Central. He's also one of the producers and director of the Aristocrats with Penn.
Yes.
And he goes,
and he wrote the foreword for my buddy Steve Oakes' book, Mid-Men, about middle-aged crisis of men.
Nice.
Yeah, Paul
So
Provenza. Shout out to Paul Provenza, and check out the Amazon-winning book Mid-Men, which will go into our book of our book club for men.
So Paul goes, I called Paul and I said, listen, I'm working with Gilbert. I don't want to name drop. I hate name dropping to other comics to be your friend. You know, like, I'm friends with him, so we should be friends. But I go, how do I get in with Gilbert? He goes, offer to buy him anything.
But, you know, spending every night with Gil for like 12 weeks, what he really loved to talk about was obscure Hollywood actors.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned anybody, Gloria Gaynor.
Fritz Feld.
Yeah, anybody that was obscure, he would love to. Oh yeah, I know that guy is.
Yeah.
Alan Hale Sr.
Alan Hale Sr.
We were working the first week was in Scranton, and I had my family with me, my wife and my 2 kids, and I go, listen, hey Gilbert, tomorrow I have a friend who owns a restaurant in town. It's the best Italian food you can get in Scranton. It's really good stuff. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, call me. So that night I go back to the hotel and my wife goes, how'd it go? I go, I forgot to give him my phone number. So I don't know. We were going to do lunch with all of us, and he goes, all of a sudden it's like noon, and I go, I don't know what to do. The phone rings, and Gilbert, as soon as I pick up the phone, he goes, I'm inquiring about the free lunch.
One of my favorite times was him and the late Louis Anderson.
Yeah,
we were at Carrot Top's birthday party, and they're comparing what's the best 99-cent store in town. And Louis like, yeah, I like the one on Durango and Flamingo. Like, they've got better floss, It's like to be a fly on the wall. I didn't know what he was doing with all that floss, like, doing it to his fans or something. He only did The Aristocrat 3 times in 12 weeks.
Wow.
Really?
But I love that. And they would do Curly Howard doing Mark Riccadonna!
Mark Riccadonna is our headliner this week at the A-Stars Comedy Show. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at 8 p.m. We open the doors at 7 o'clock for a pre-show party. We have drinks and food specials. You can actually get dinner in the room. And then we play some funny videos. We have some great music. It really is a party before the show. And then at 8 o'clock, boom, curtain goes up. I take the stage. It's me, the great Uber Rossi, who's an acro-crazy comedian, 4th-generation circus clown, who you probably saw on the old Late Late Show with James Corden that just went off the air not too long ago. And he's really, 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 really great, Uber Rossi. And then our headliner, Mark Riccadonna. Now you're caught up.
Well, you're not. We didn't mention Jackie the Joke Man Marling's going to be here October 10th, 11th, and 12th.
That's right.
From the Howard Stern Show, if you're a fan of the Stern Show.
That's right.
Jackie was the lead comedy writer for 12 years until he didn't feel like getting up at 2 in the morning anymore.
That's right.
He's also one of the greatest joke tellers of all time. There's not a joke that man does not know.
No, and at the end of his set, we play a game called Stump the Joke Man.
Oh. Yeah.
And if you stump him,
and then you get a shot of tequila every time you don't know the joke.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, at the Alien Tequila, everybody. It's the best.
Yeah, they're going to sponsor Jackie.
This one's Añejo.
And we also have tickets on sale. I forgot to mention a show that we're doing together with a former member of Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah.
Tickets are on sale for October 6th, Sunday, October 6th.
Tony Moore.
Tony Moore's going to be here. And if you're like a fan of Genesis and Pink Floyd, so in a one-man show in the showroom.
Matinee.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock matinee on Sunday, October 6th. Iron Maiden's here on the 5th. Not here, but playing here in town in Las Vegas. And then we've got Tony Moore, the original keyboard player for Iron Maiden. Go to Eventbrite, look at all these great shows. Tickets are on sale for all of them.
That's right.
And Mark, you went to the Academy of Dramatic Arts to study theater?
Yeah.
Really?
I was...
I'm a little Shakespeare.
It's even crazier because I played football and I was all northern Ohio. I was going to go to college to go play football.
You were going to be a Buckeye, but instead
I got hurt wrestling and became a theater guy. So I went complete opposite direction. Then I was working at a comedy club, and I got talked into trying it.
In Youngstown?
No, in New York City.
Oh.
Huh.
And I started doing stand-up, not knowing that it was a thing that you could really even do.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I was getting paid for it. I went,
wow.
Holy
After
crap.
graduation,
Holy moly.
Mark discovered stand-up comedy, became a successful storyteller, performing across New York City and touring the world.
Yes.
Yes. And the furthest place you toured was?
Diego Garcia, which is in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Wow.
We have a we have a military base there that we share with the Brits. And it's where Optimus Prime is. In case
Okay.
Transformer fan.
Good to know that.
I don't know what that is.
All right.
He's the good, whatever they are.
Sounds
It
like something
turns into
Tom Cruise would go
monsters.
to.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
That's right. Was that with the USO? Was that a USO show?
Yeah. I did Iraq, Afghanistan, Spain, Portugal.
Right here. He's like a Bob Hope right here with the USO.
USO.
Bob Hope.
You did a short film called Through Open Doors?
Yes.
That's a Cannes film. What was that about?
So it was it's kind of crazy. This girl leaves the country because her mother's.
This is the plot of the movie.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So she leaves the country. She comes back and finds that she went to the wrong apartment. But as she meets the person who's in the apartment, she slowly realizes it's her apartment, and this guy's been squatting there for.
Oh my gosh!
So it's a dark comedy.
A dark comedy, ladies and gentlemen.
And we just actually, the same group, we just did one called My Friend Doubt, and that is currently on the festival circuit, and it's doing really well.
Now, we just found out before the show started that Mark is also in a show that I went to the pilot of called Unsuited.
Yes,
Yeah.
the show about poker.
Yeah,
I saw it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well,
and he steals the show. He's the
I was
comic
there.
relief on that. Yeah,
Melissa and I
absolutely.
went, and I said my favorite line from the movie, and I said this to Ronnie Marmo.
Yeah, Dan Loria's character.
And I love Danny, by the way. We didn't talk about Dan Lauria, but I've known Dan for a long time as well.
He's
through our mutual
fantastic.
friend, Joe Mantegna.
Yeah.
But my favorite line from Unsuited was, "It's not really gambling until you're playing with your rent money."
That's right.
I said that to Ronnie Marmo. That's my favorite line.
It's such a good
and I
line.
use that all the time. It's not really gambling until you're playing with your rent money.
Yeah, and there's some big name poker players in that. Doyle Brunson's in that.
Yeah.
And who else is in that?
Oh, geez, I don't know a lot of the. I don't gamble, which I know Mitt City.
Let's stay here long enough, and maybe we could change that.
Well, perhaps like a little 7-card stud.
Many films have a lead role in Days of Power.
Yes, it was a feature film. It was it's kind of a thriller, but it's more like geared toward teenagers. Not
Okay.
really, and it was a lot of fun. I played a very sick man.
Okay. All right. Typecasting.
Unsuited, we talked about Unsuited.
Yeah.
And what's his name? And Beer League series, Beer League.
Yeah,
What's his
Beer
name in
League.
Beer
You
League
guys
series?
remember the Artie Lang movie?
Yes,
Beer League?
Artie Lang. Another
Artie Lang, another
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah, and they did a TV series version of it, and it's currently being pitched. And I played the character who nobody knows his name, but he knows everything about everybody, so they just assume he's one of the guys
Ever had that happen to you?
all the time.
I remember one story from Chicago. My Rush Street friends and I used to go out every Thursday night, and we go down to Rush Street, and there was a guy that was with us, and I thought it was your friend, and you thought it was my friend, and it got to be like 5 in the morning. We're at the Underground Wonder Bar, and we discovered that nobody knew who the guy was, and we were all buying drinks all the time. One of the guys decided to mess with him and took an empty champagne bottle and said, "Go put this on the piano player's piano." And it was an empty champagne bottle, and the piano player got all pissed off about it, and he came back and said, "You guys are a bunch of assholes. I'm leaving." And he took my friend's coat, and it was the middle of winter in Chicago.
Yeah.
And my friend got his coat, and actually my friend got the better coat. And we never knew who the guy was, and there was a pager in the pocket. Guy Leone. Shout out to Guy Leone.
That's been my whole life, though, even after comedy shows.
Perhaps it was the ghost of hangovers present.
Dry Bar Comedy. What's Dry? I think I know somebody that produces that.
So
Yeah.
Dry Bar it's out of Provo, Utah, Angel Studios. They produce comedy specials for clean comedy.
Yeah.
And it's all clean specials. So you go there, no cringe topics, no swearing, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to do it this last year, and it was like as soon as I did it, and they released it, that got all these hits, and I just couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like over 1 million views.
Yeah, over 1
in the
million
first
views
2
on his
weeks.
Dry Bar. So you got to come check him out this weekend at the A-Stars Comedy Show here at the Ahern Hotel, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
And I have to mention this. We're going to play Truth or Brown Sugar in a minute here.
Yeah.
But Mark was also a contributing writer for Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update with Michael Shea, and I found out that you would email the jokes in.
Yeah, they were. It wasn't. Everybody always wants a juicy backstage
Yeah.
story.
I know.
The age of the internet.
$1
we just
million.
email them.
They
They
pay
email
you $50 a joke, like the old days.
150, but
That's real TV money right there.
but it was fun. They would send you all the topics,
Yeah.
and you would have to write like 500 jokes, and then you'd send it to the next guy in the pyramid, and then he would break it down to whatever, and then they would get it to 10.
Yeah.
And on Thursday, that your top 10 jokes went in, and
You remember any of them? Do you remember one?
I mean, I remember the ones that made it.
Give me one.
One
that made
was if Donald Trump gets elected, they said that he's going to make people say Merry Christmas, but I'm pretty sure if he gets elected, a lot of people are going to say Jesus Christ. A man got bit on the penis with a poisonous snake for the second time.
Wait, this isn't Trump.
No,
Different guy. This happened in Florida.
Any guy.
Okay, all right. So man in Florida, yeah.
Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
Shout out to Carrot Top, Florida man.
Okay. So there was a guy in Florida. What happened?
He got bit on the penis by a poisonous snake
Wow.
for the second time. The only way to cure that is to suck the poison out.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Fool me once, ladies and germs. Okay.
That was a Woody Allen movie. I got in trouble one time on the radio for saying penis. I was on Lotus Radio, and I was reading an E-Entertainment news press release, and it was about a guy from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, the Wu-Tang Clan.
So first I had to look up the Wu-Tang Clan.
Sure.
There's no Al Jolson.
I don't know. I know Al Jolson. I don't know the Wu-Tang Clan.
They used to open for Bootsy.
Did he? I know who Bootsy is. And his name was Andre Johnson.
Oh, wow.
And Andre Johnson
Mr. Johnson.
tried to commit suicide in the wee hours of the morning by cutting off his penis and jumping off of a second-floor building in Beverly Hills.
Really?
And he failed at both. And I thought it was interesting that it was the wee small hours of the morning. His name was Johnson, and he tried to cut off his penis. And his rap hip-hop other name was Christ Killer.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
So I finished the broadcasting. I called into a meeting, and they said, Johnny, what were you thinking? What? He said penis. I said, well, what would you rather I say? I use penis. What do you want me to say? Cock. What do you want me to say? Get out of here. Co-author of Two Guys, Two-Way Joke Book? What's that?
Yes, that's with a mutual friend, Tom Briscoe. We wrote a joke book that if you read the book this way, all the jokes are clean. They're all clean jokes you can tell at church. But if you flip the book over, they're all filthy jokes.
Oh, wow.
That if you tell those, you'll have to go to church.
And you have to go to confession.
And they'll be available at the show.
Mark is a gifted storyteller.
So
There's the brown sugar.
So if you come tonight, tomorrow night, or Saturday night to the A-Stars comedy show, afterwards we do a meet and greet, complimentary meet and greet, and you will have this book for sale?
Yes.
Wow.
I will sign it, which makes it, if you sell it on eBay, the price goes down with my signature.
That's fantastic.
You know that the kids call charisma Riz?
Oh, yeah, you got the Riz, man. Yeah.
You got Riz.
Yeah, you got the Riz, baby.
Yeah.
You know who's got a lot of Riz? This alien tequila character. I think he's got a lot of charisma.
Well, there's
and
an approach in every bottle.
he's a lot of fun. It's out of this world. Alien tequila.
And you're on Sirius XM? Or you've been on with Bob and Tom?
I've been on with both. The Sirius XM, my album. I have 4 albums. They're all in rotation, so they play regularly. If you listen, you'll
People
hear
buy
it.
albums?
Not anymore, but they played on Sirius XM.
I have an old neighbor named Carl Oglio.
Oh, yeah.
You know Carl?
No, but I've heard that name.
He produces comedy. He produces
Yeah.
Red Peters.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Red Peter.
And he did Jackie the Joke Man's album.
Yeah, well, Jeff, my buddy Jeff Abraham, shout out to Jeff Abraham.
Love Jeff Abrams.
With a great comedy publicist, and he's the author of a book, The Show Won't Go On, about people who died on stage.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but he's got an extensive collection of comedy vinyl. I think every comedy
He's
album,
the best archivist.
every
in the
comedy
world.
album ever produced, I think, with the exception of yours, he has.
So Park Your Carcass is one that I know that died on the air. Well, he died during the Friars roast.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks' father.
Okay.
You know him. And the other one would be Dick Shawn.
Oh, Dick Shawn, yes, yeah. In fact,
States.
I saw him do that show, the world's second greatest entertainer, at the Cannon Theater in Beverly Hills, and he died. It was shortly after that, and so it was like I was.
Then he had to do it again at the 10 o'clock.
No, because that was the bit. He had this bit where he had bricks, and he would set the bricks along the stage like a set of dominoes, and then he would hit them on this side. They would go all the way across the center, and he'd get to this side, and he'd fall over, and he'd lay flat on the stage, and that went into intermission. And he would lay there flat for 15 minutes, and then when it was time to start the show, he'd get up from the floor. So they go to the second half, okay, and he's not getting up, and he's not getting up. And they're like in the booth, okay, this is a bit. What's he doing? He's changing the show. What's he doing? No, he passed away.
Oh my God!
He passed on. Dick Shawn died on stage.
Yeah. During intermission.
And not only that, the great comedy magician from the UK, from England, Tommy Cooper. Tommy Cooper. And Tommy Cooper used to do a joke. He said, "There's this guy, right? And he dies, just like that. Well, not like that. He dies like that." And then he fell over.
And he really died.
Telling that joke.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, all of it's in the Jeff Abraham book. So check out the Jeff Abraham book. And when we talk about vinyl, the collection, the greatest collection of comedy vinyl is Jeff Abraham.
Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling.
That's the
podcast?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'd love to have you guys on next time when we start back up the new season.
That'd be fun.
Tom Brady. What does Tom Brady have to do with anything?
We have an album that is all Tom Brady jokes. It was, and it was with our friend Tom Briscoe. We wrote an entire
book of Tom Brady jokes.
Stuff.
I know Lorenzo knows my friend Dennis Blair. Do you know who Dennis is?
Yeah. Oh, the guitar player. He's fantastic.
During the Tom Brady fiasco, I called Dennis is brilliant. And I said, Dennis, can you write a parody song to the tune of the Brady Bunch and use the two words deflated balls? And by the next day he had a parody.
Deflated balls, deflated balls.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah. And it's all downhill from
Hey, by the way, Dennis Blair is currently on tour with the great Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
So if you're a Fanilow of either Dennis Blair or Barry Manilow, check them out on tour.
That is a good show.
You came and you came and you came, and you're coming again, oh Mandy.
Yes, and you heard it here right here first from
You're a fan
the
of
great John.
So now it's time to play the game that's sweeping the country, sweeping the world, Truth or Brown Sugar. And we talked about you sending your jokes in to Saturday Night Live, so Lorenzo suggested we play Truth or Bullshit, Brown Sugar. I could never do
Saturday Night Live. Okay, here we go.
So I'm going to run some questions past, and Mark and I are drinking, and Lorenzo is laughing. The book club will be starting on the subtle art of not.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live, Truth or Brown Sugar. Saturday Night Live's existence is partly due to Johnny Carson's desire for more vacation days. Truth or Brown Sugar?
I'm going to say brown sugar.
I'm going to say brown sugar.
No, it's true. In 1974, Johnny Carson requested that the NBC stop airing The Tonight Show on the weekend because he wanted to save those reruns for extra vacation days he was planning to take during weekdays. NBC wanted to fill those weekend slots, so they hired Lauren Michaels to develop a show.
Wow. Good to know.
Gilda Radner.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
That was wild stuff.
Wild. Who does your best Johnny Carson? What impression?
Mike Wilson probably does the best Johnny Carson. Yeah, Mike Blackjack Wilson.
I don't know him.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Kevin
go.
Spacey used to do it.
Rich Little here in town, right here in Vegas. Rich Little with the best.
Dana Carvey for me.
And Dana, I love it when he would do Carcinio.
Carcinio the other hand.
Yeah.
Gilda Radner was Saturday Night Live's first official cast member. Truth or Brown Sugar?
Brown sugar.
I'm going to go brown sugar.
True.
Oh, really?
First cast member Lauren Michaels hired. Saturday Night Live premiered as NBC's Saturday Night.
True.
That's true.
It is true. Chevy Chase was originally hired as a Saturday Night Live writer. Truth or Brown Sugar?
True.
It is true.
I know Chevy Chase's father. He was a piano teacher at Juilliard.
Really?
He was always drinking at my wife's bar when we lived in New York.
All right.
What was your wife's bar?
It was called the Underground Lounge. She was just a bartender there. But,
where was it?
110
Underground?
and West End.
The West End.
Okay.
I actually did a movie with Chevy Chase called Bad Meat with the original guys that wrote The Onion. I said, Bad Meat? Bad movie. He played a senator that they kidnapped, and they put him in the cooler, and he died in the cooler, so they replaced him with bologna.
Oh.
But he loved The Onion, so he did the movie for favored nations, which means they paid
Everybody got paid the same.
$100 and then Chevy did it for $100 a day.
Yeah.
Though he became one of the show's breakout stars, Chevy Chase was really hired as a writer, job that came with a one-year contract, which is how Chase got around having to sign a performer contract, and also why he was able to leave the show just a few episodes into the second season. Next question. Richard Belzer warmed up the Saturday Night Live audience during season 1.
I'm saying true.
I would say true.
It is true.
Yeah.
The Bells.
The Bells. He used to come in the stand-up New York when I was a door guy at a comedy club. And he would come in, him and, what's his name, Maloney, who was his co-star in Law & Order. They would come in.
John Mahoney?
No, Chris Maloney.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
And I used to beg him to go on stage because I was a fan of his.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do it. He would not go on. And I
Hello, you're on the air.
Well, I think once he got the TV show and became a real actor, he kind of gave up the.
But Chris Maloney
stand-up stuff. But I tell you, I love his cameo in Scarface. He plays the MC. He plays the MC in the nightclub in the movie Scarface with a "Say hello to my little friend."
And Chris Maloney would get about 4 martinis in and talk about, I could do this, and Bell's just like, no, you couldn't. So Bell still had love for his comedy.
And he still had that sarcasm. No, you couldn't, babe.
You could probably speak to this, Mark. That Lorenzo and I have been talking about this for a few weeks, and it trends really well. That stand-up comedians can act, but actors can't do stand-up.
100%. Because when it comes to stand-up comics, have a tendency to work alone. So their hurdle is working with somebody else. That's their only hurdle. But if you tell a stand-up comic and give them a note, they will take it because they record themselves every night and give themselves notes. So they can take notes and get whatever the director needs.
Yeah.
Where I feel like with actors, being alone and knowing that you have to do it all on your own, I think they freak out.
Yeah. So if you're a director out there, my SAG dues are paid.
We're available.
Saturday Night Live cast members were originally paid $750 per week.
True.
I'm going to say it was probably lower.
No, it was $750 a week.
Wow.
Raquel Welch and Gilda Radner during a 1976 Saturday Night Live rehearsal said that in the show's first season, cast members earned $750 per week. That figure rose to $2,000 in season 2, $4,000 by season 4. Will Ferrell was Saturday Night Live's highest paid cast member. Truth or brown sugar?
God, I'm going to say true.
I'll go true.
Yeah. In 2001, Will Ferrell became the show's highest paid cast member. He signed a contract for $350,000 per season.
Wow.
I believe because he was such a rising star and he stayed probably 2 more seasons than he had to.
Yeah, right. No, it's true. Yeah, because he'd already done movies. And
what I love is that I know some things about him because my daughter does stand up in L.A.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And he just shows up. And he says that his name is Phil Werrell.
I knew his brother Pat Farrell. He used to come to the club when I was a door guy all the time, and it was before Will took off. He was, it wasn't even on SNL, and he used to come in. He's a great guy. They're good family.
Very cool. Seems like that.
Yeah.
Truth or brown sugar? Jim Carrey auditioned for Saturday Night Live twice and was rejected twice.
True.
It is true.
But he was in living color, and boy, did he stand out in that show.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. Yeah, right. All right, who's your favorite cast member? Who's your least favorite cast member?
Bill Murray, I think, was probably my all-time favorite, and I got to work with Steve Martin on his The Great Flydini Act. And imagine this, I'm backstage working with Steve Martin, which was a big enough thrill anyway, but Steve Martin was in the magic community, etc., so, he used to work at a magic shop, so we kind of had that in common, so it was like, but then all of a sudden, here comes taping day, and 60 Minutes was there, etc., and I look around the corner, and here comes 2 guys through the door, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and I was like, oh man, this is like,
You're not going to meet a nicer guy than Danny Aykroyd.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd was super nice. Bill Murray was a bit of a jerk, but I give it to him anyway. I still love Bill Murray. He's funny as hell.
Billy's great. I played in their first Caddyshack golf tournament.
Oh yeah.
And my friend's wife, Billy, walks up and goes, "What's the matter? You don't look happy." She says, "They don't have amaretto." He goes down into the basement and finds a bottle of amaretto. Yeah, happy now?
I know where they keep the amaretto. Right next to the alien tequila.
An abduction in every bottle.
That's right. It's out of this world.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's last action hero killed a Saturday Night Live movie starring Hans and Franz.
I'll be back. We have to get to the chopper now.
They were so good at those 2 characters.
I will pump you up. Hans and Franz. Yeah, they were great. Yeah, that's true? True.
The idea for Hans and Franz movie began and ended with Arnold, who suggested the idea to Kevin Nealon and Dana Carvey when he his guest star in a segment, and it came down to the box office bomb that was The Last Action Hero. saying the movie came out and it was a failure, and Arnold's agent decided, I will
Better not risk
never
it.
be myself in a movie again.
I will not be back.
It can't be done. This is the proof. I can't play myself in a movie.
But I could-
Automatic failure.
But I couldn't State Farm commercial.
Yeah. Robert Smigel has written a handful of unproduced Saturday Night Live movies. True
Yes.
Brown Sugar.
True.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with him.
Very.
Among those 12 features, and we've talked about our friend Joe Mantegna before,
Yeah.
the movie version of The Bears. Hey, are you guys ready for
Bears.
some football?
The Bears.
Right now is kickoff time, Kansas City against the Ravens. First game of the 2024
Raider Nation.
I'm going with KC minus 2.5.
Oh.
And, Travis Kelce to score a couple of times, 2 touchdowns for
Yeah.
Taylor
The
Swift.
touchdowns.
Taylor Swift. The Bears. Those featured the movie version of the Bears sketch, a.k.a. Bill Squirski Super Fans. One of SNL's longest-running sketches, which premiered on January 12th, 1991, with Joe Mantegna as the titular Swirsky. When the opportunity arose to turn the sketch into a film, Robert Smigel and Bob Odenkirk, who had created the original sketch,
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk.
jumped at the opportunity with Smigel leaving his job as Conan's head writer to work on the script. But a bad year for SNL on the small screen spelled trouble for anyone involved with the show. Awful article written in the New York Magazine about the show and the network wanted to lay down the law. No SNL movies.
No SNL movies. They're done.
2010, Smigel, Odenkirk, Mantegna, George Wendt, Mike Ditka, and Richard Roper, Chicago columnist.
Mr.
staged a
Roper.
live reading of the script at Chicago's Just for Laughs Festival. The Bears 33, Green Bay Packers 3. Mike Ditka 75.
The Bears.
Here's one that we talked about Gilbert earlier.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried beat out Paul Rubens for a spot on Saturday Night Live.
True.
It is true. Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, has a theory that Gilbert got the SNL spot because after the two of them auditioned, he believed that Gottfried was favored for being friends with one of the producers. He said he was so bitter and angry, but he thought about doing something else and take it to the next level, which is how Pee Wee's Playhouse came to be.
The password is nepotism.
Side note: Phil Hartman was in Pee Wee's.
He was, yeah.
on the stage version.
There you
and
go.
then ended up getting SNL later.
Who was Cowboy Randy?
That's
or-
right. Lawrence Fishburne.
Fishburne, the fish.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Who came to saw me at the Magic Castle last year. So
Shout out to
to Lawrence Fishburne.
It's Pat is the least successful Saturday Night movie ever.
True.
I'll say true because I thought the sketch was hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't see the movie.
Right, exactly. It's a sketch.
And how would that play now with the new transgender?
Yeah, actually, now
I
might be
think now
the
but it would
time
be
to
a
do
comedy.
it. Yeah.
That was 1994.
Wow.
So that was 30 years ago.
30 years ago
That was the
today.
first transgender person on a comedy show.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Ross.
Yes.
What do they call him?
The Roast Master.
Jeff
Yeah.
Ross was considered as a replacement for Colin Quinn on Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update.
I'm going to say sugar.
I'm going to say brown sugar.
True.
True.
Tina Fey and Jimmy Fallon weren't the only folks vying for Colin Quinn's spot at the Weekend Update desk. In 2000, comedian Jeff Ross was also in contention, but Fey had clout, 3 years experience as a writer for the show and 1 season as head writer. Next question. Larry David abruptly quit as a Saturday Night Live writer, then pretended he had.
Yes, and there's a Seinfeld episode written about it.
Really?
It's
Okay.
true. Larry David wrote for SNL in the 80s, but was also struggling to get his sketches on the air, which I've heard a lot of people, they buy to get their sketch on, and
Yeah.
100 writers.
Yeah.
That was it was a joke that I had with my friend Kevin Brennan, who got me the job with Weekend Update. Was I had an opportunity to do a TV pilot, and it was called Radio Gods. It was about morning radio. Provenza was in it. The great Rick Overton was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert.
Rick Overton's coming here to the A-Stars comedy show in November.
Oh, that's great. Rick's a
Come
lot
out and
of
see
movies.
him. He is one of the greatest improv comics you've
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
But they were the leads in it. Gilbert was supposed to be in it, but that's when he found out he got sick. And we had Tony V come in. I don't know if you know him out of
Okay.
Chicago. Amazing. But I ended up telling the guys I don't have the bandwidth to do both. So I'm going to walk away from the SNL thing. And I go, nobody will know.
Chris Farley idolized fellow SNL star John Belushi.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, everybody knows that one.
Yes.
Yeah, he once found an old pair of, I should have asked this, an old pair of Belushi's pants in the wardrobe room and stole them.
I believe that's true.
Kenan Thompson was the first Saturday Night Live cast member who was born after the show premiered.
True.
True.
It is true.
I was
Yeah.
there for his audition. It was
And
in New York.
and I think he got a pair of Chris Farley's pants.
That was 1978.
And that's where that sketch came from. Tight pants. Everybody's talking about your tight pants. Got your tight pants. Got your tight pants on.
Friendly with, I don't know if you guys remember, A. Whitney Brown.
Hey, Whitney Brown, yes.
And he told the story about when Chris Farley was new and he wanted to do drugs, the hard stuff, so badly just because of Belushi.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
And I think he succeeded in doing that.
Yeah, he
So,
did
saw him
it.
in
so
Chicago
just say no. Just say no to heroin and donuts. That's the
Just
lesson.
say no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Say donut.
The Beatles, or at least half of them, almost reunited on Saturday Night Live as
Yes.
a gag.
Yes.
At least half of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. In 1976,
Ringo Starr, man.
6 years after they had disbanded, the Beatles were offered $230 million by promoter Sid Bernstein to reunite, an offer they promptly declined. Shortly thereafter, Lorne Michaels made a live plea to the Fab Four to reunite as musical guests on Saturday Night Live, stating that NBC had authorized him to offer them a certified check for $3,000. David
I said, we'll take it.
and John Lennon said that him and Paul were together watching the show at the Dakota, and they were watching it and almost went down to the studio as a gag, but they were too tired. Have you been to the Dakota in New York?
Yes, I walked over to it, yes.
Well,
The
my
comedy
friend Stephen
club was
Bogart's
close.
mom, Lauren McCall, had a condo there, and I can say this. I actually smoked a joint in Lauren McCall's bedroom and Bogarted with Bogart.
You're Bogarted like Bogart. I like it.
Kind of creepy, like the gateway where John was shot.
Yeah.
It's like that vibe. It's just so heavy when you're there.
There's a vibe there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Saturday Night Live's audience voted to ban Andy Kaufman from the show.
Yeah.
True.
That is true. What was it? Tony
Tony Clifton.
Tony Clifton.
Tony Clifton got banned. It was Clifton that got banned, not Kaufman. Not Kaufman. Clifton.
Tony Clifton was performing at the Briar Street Theater in Chicago, and I went with my friend Mark Wilhelms, Willie, and we went. Did you ever see Tony Clifton perform?
Oh yeah. Bob Zabuda, yeah.
Bob Zabuda. And his gig was he would pass out, he would pour drinks for everybody in the audience, and he would wear down the audience. Where he would do he had a band with him, and he would do like Zeppelin with a lounge act.
Right, yeah.
And I was the last one there. He was going for 4 hours, and everybody left. He was like wearing him down. It was just me and my friend Willie, and my friend Willie said, I gotta go. It was me and Bob Zabuda and his daughter, and he was wearing the blue tuxedo jacket.
Tony Clifton lives.
It was Tony Clifton.
I love
Bob
it.
Zabuda.
I love it. Yeah, God bless Bob.
Yeah, so
Comic relief. God bless Bob.
So Andy Kaufman actually, in the final show, he did a tally of viewers calling to keep Andy. And his first appearance was the Mighty Mouse theme, where he was lip syncing Mighty Mouse.
Here I come to sing the
He
day.
was a bartender at the Improv in New York. And
Andy Kaufman was?
Yeah, and he loved Andy Kaufman so much he asked if he could write with him.
Bob Zabuda?
Yeah, and they became quick friends.
What a great story. Another great bartender, Rick Messina, who's the manager for Tim Allen and Drew Carey, etc. He started as a
And
bartender.
the doorman, Tony Camacho, I ran into
Yes,
at the airport.
that's
The
right.
biggest tongue in the world.
That's right, Tony Camacho.
Tony Camacho, who booked Brad's.
Apollo Creed.
That's right. He's a talent agent to the stars.
I saw him just recently, and I didn't recognize him because it's been a few years since
He didn't
I saw
recognize
Tony.
me, and
He didn't-
he's the one who got me dry bar. I saw him at the airport. I go, Tony. He looked up at me like, I go,
Yeah, I was at a show just recently, and Tony was there, and he said, stick your tongue out. Oh, yeah, that's you.
Shout out to Tony Camacho.
Saturday Night Live creator Lorne Michaels thought Steven Seagal was a jerk.
I believe
I'm
it.
gonna go true.
Yeah. He just wasn't funny. He was very critical of the cast and the writing staff. And then Lorne Michaels says he didn't realize that you can't tell somebody they're stupid on Wednesday and expect them to continue writing for you on Saturday.
Right.
Michaels got in a jab at Seagal at a later show hosted by actor Nicolas Cage. When Cage lamented during his monologue that the audience might think he's the biggest jerk who's ever been on the show, Michaels responded, no, that'd be Steven Seagal. And that's how we play Truth or Brown Sugar.
Yes, to the brown sugar, everybody.
Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel.
On Sahara, across from Sahara, 300 West Sahara. Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Free parking. Free parking.
And you can see Paul Rodriguez on the 16th.
Yes.
Any other shout-outs you want to do?
Wow, we got so many great shows coming up. Next weekend, we said the great Alan Bursky. Alan Bursky will be here. So, but this weekend, of course, Mark Riccadonna and Paul Rodriguez on September 16th. Get your tickets on Eventbrite for Paul Rodriguez. For the A-Stars Comedy Show, we prefer Vegas.com. Check us out.
Angel Salazar.
Yeah, shout out to Angel Salazar. Check us out.
And the lights are going off, so I think we're done.
And with that note, And with that,
Guys, thanks
yeah.
for tuning in, everybody.
Yes.
And sharing is caring. Feel free to share.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
Thank you.
Just to have a laugh and
Thanks, everybody.
sing a song. That's it. That's all, folks.